Today we're going to do a tangle called Beeline. And Beeline has been a Zentangle for a really long time. And I was talking to one of my friends online and they were saying that they hadn't even attempted it because it looked a little complicated and looked a little difficult. So I'm going to break it down and show you Beeline. So we're going to start like we usually do with a dot in each corner, and then we're going to connect that with a frame. And what we're going to do is make a set of parallel lines. So, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to look at, because you know I'm a big fan of this, we're just going to look at one section at a time, okay? So, well, before we get to that, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start over here, and we're going to make a line that goes diagonal like this. And then on the next line, we're going to do the opposite. And then we're going to go all the way down, alternating the direction of our lines until we get to the end. So see, this is all we've done so far after drawing the parallel lines is to put in a line like this. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to mirror that. So see, now this goes in this direction. And so now, go in this direction. And as you see, if you're doing it correctly, it will create something that looks like a diamond, which is not really what we're going for in the end, but it does help make it look correct. And that way you know that you're doing the right thing. So now the next line is a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to mirror the last line that we did. And this will all make sense at the end, I promise. So and go over a little bit. And we're mirroring the last line. So if you need to cover this up so that you don't get confused at what we're doing, you can do that, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to make something that is going to end up looking like an X, okay? So we're actually going to be mirroring the first line. Or you can think of it as doing the opposite of what's on these lines, okay? But if these look like diamonds, this next one will look very much like an X. And then you notice that after this top X, these also are all diamonds. So it really just depends on what way you decide to look at it. You know, you can look at them as X's, you can look at them as diamonds. You know, it's a whole thing. So Now what we're going to do is we're just going to continue doing that all the way across, okay? So the next one that we're going to mirror is going to be basically this right here, which has got the ones that basically just all look like diamonds to me, okay? So that's what is next. And then, just like we did over here, we're going to go on in the opposite direction. And so then you end up like that. And I'm sure you can guess that the next thing to do is to draw one just like this. And I'm sure we can fit one more in there. Okay. And then I think I'm just gonna not worry about this little space that I have right here on the side. But do I want to make these a little bit, do I want to add these extra lines at the top? No, I don't. Well, let me see. So I think I'm gonna add an extra line here at the bottom. I can fit that in there. And then I'm just gonna finish these off real quick. And then the next thing that we need to do is to color in basically all the little diamonds. Now this is when your pieces of paper or your other things may come in handy. You may not need it. But so what we're going to do is all of these diamonds are going to get colored in. And I'm going to use my my 05, or I may even end up using my 12, but so when I color in a really big black area, what I like to do is color around the inside border. Okay, so I've blacked in around the inside border with my 05. And then what I can do is take my 12, which is it's a lot bigger, as you can see. And as long as I stay inside that border, it doesn't matter really how big it is. But I use my 05 to do the initial line on the inside, because if not, then this micron is just too big to get really up close to the edge. The 12 is too big to get up close to the edge. So now that I've done my first row, you can see some are bigger than others. This one is a little wonky. And if that bothers you, then this would be the perfect time to just kind of take your pen and, maybe make that look a little bit better, maybe not so wonky. But it doesn't really bother me, and it's not really going to affect the end result because you can tell it's hand drawn. So I'm not a machine. I'm a human, and there will be some mistakes in here, and that's really okay. So then we're just going to continue. I'm going to continue coloring in all the different diamonds, and then we'll get to the shading, which is where this tangle really starts to look cool. Now we're going to get to shade it. And this is where we start to need to kind of look at our cubes or maybe look at our lines, like a little more specifically in the one area, just so that we know exactly what we're doing, okay? So if you look at this, it's almost like a cube, okay? You also have the diamond here, and you have like a shape going this way and then one going this way. We're gonna pick the one that goes this way, and we're gonna shade that in, okay? Now that we've decided which one that is. Okay, and now that we've chosen where one is, then we can use that one to determine where we're gonna put some graphite next. And what we can do is smooth this out real quick. All right, you wanna kind of get right up to the edge with your graphite on this one. Okay, and so then I know that, okay, I'm gonna wanna skip this next one. So, cause that would kind of be what I would consider the top of the cube. And so then we're gonna go to the next one here. Then we skip the next one and go here. And then we go back up to the top and say, okay, well, one should have been here. Right? And now we can just put some pencil before we shade it on each of the ones that do have to be shaded. So we're gonna go to the next one over here. We'll get back to this one in a second. We're gonna go to the next one over here, and we're like, okay, well, where does that need to go? So basically, if you've put some pencil here at the top and you go next door, you're not going to put pencil there. You're going to go down, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing that we did over here. We're going to skip one, go down, skip one, go down, skip one, and go down. Okay? And now we're going to start doing the same exact thing that we did over here. It's like, well, this one doesn't have any graphite on it, so that means the next one does. And we're actually mirroring this one into for the placement for those. Okay, we're going to go over here and do the part that is showing. So again, this has got graphite, so this won't. We go down. Okay, and then we're just going to spin this and we're going to do the other sides. So we're gonna just do it the same way. If there's graphite here, we skip this one and it goes in here. Okay, and now that I've put the graphite where it needs to go, I'm gonna do my tortillon. And usually we don't do that, but I wanted to make sure that we knew exactly where everything was gonna go. So now I'm just gonna spread these out. And I'm trying to keep them pretty much in the square as well. Like I don't really want to go out the square if I can help it. And that is Beeline.